Hello, and a one and a two. Okay, it tells me I am live, which, as I usually say, is good because you don't need a seance to get in touch with me or go through a medium. I am a medium. I am a shamanic medium. I am the Ocean Swagger, and the name of the channel is The Ocean's Deep Woo because we do woo. We do the deepest of woo. And the whole thing about woo is it encompasses quite a lot of things. It's paranormal, which means a little outside of the normal, or sometimes quite a bit outside of the normal. And in my case, my life has been paranormal. It has never been normal. So, if you are also one of those people who does not have a normal life, you might be interested. But by every kind of paranormal, we mean everything from cryptids to ghosts to spirits and hauntings, and also, well, the cryptids are like Sasquatch and so on, uh, aliens, um, time travel. We'll discuss anything like that. Um, just interdimensional, everything. 5D if you want, everything. We'll discuss it. We're a bunch of experiencers. And on this channel, we give a lot more credit to experiencers than um, many channels do because most of us are experiencers. So if you're not an experiencer, that's okay. An experiencer only means that you had something weird happen to you. Maybe you can explain it, maybe you can't. Maybe you're coming here to try and understand it. We're fine with that too. Hey Linda, how you doing? Yeah, we're completely fine with you not knowing much because it gives us an opportunity to teach. And we have many people here who are very knowledgeable. My chat room is one of the most knowledgeable chat rooms about the paranormal that you'll find. So if you are curious, you're welcome. If you're an experiencer, you're welcome. If you're a troll, Denali's going to kick your butt with steel-toed shoes, right? Right. Okay, she keeps a pair. She's from Texas. She has a special pair of steel-toed butt-kicking shoes for trolls. So don't troll. Be nice to our guests. Be nice to each other. That's all we ask. Just be respectful, and we will take you in as part of our group and be happy to hear your story. For tonight is story time. Story time with you guys. So, and if nobody else tells their story, I will tell some of my stories. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is we're here for disclosure. We are the disclosure. We are disclosure. You will ask for the answer to the secret question, Denali. These boots are made for kicking ass, and that's just what they'll do. Yeah. So another thing I'd like my mods to remember is please remind people to like and share and subscribe, and generally give out our MeWe link at odd times so that we can keep people moving in our direction. I would appreciate that. Yeah, Linda is like, these boots are made for walking and kicking ass. Okay. Yeah, trolls must pay the toll. We are 100% on the thumbs up. Okay. So basically, this I have to give my disclaimer now that this is tips, tricks, and hacks, in-game advice for those who are playing this fantastic game. It's massively multiplayer, total immersion, VR learning game, Matrix, called Life on Earth. And with that, we can proceed. We are 111% thumbs up. Wow, that's a lot of thumbs. I don't know if I have that many thumbs. I have two. My cat, however, is polydactyl, so he's got spares. He's got an extra one on each front foot. He got tums. He got tums. So, yeah. Little cowboy's polydactyl, but don't tell him he's different. He thinks he's a human. A human who likes their belly rubbed all the time. So, that's my little kitty cat. I wanted to take you outside today, and I still want to do that, if nothing else. If things kind of get boring around here, because I realize it's only a Monday, you know, I mean, people may not be awake. You know, it's only Monday. But greetings and favor to you, David Castle, and everybody. So I figure if things get boring, I'll just take you outside a little bit. I've got my fancy, what the Australians call Mozzie watch. Basically, it's an electronic mosquito repeller. And it seems to work because I saw one come flying in right at me, and I saw one turn right around and go the opposite way. So I think this thing works. So I'm armed just in case I do decide I want to go outside. And otherwise, I'm going to sit here. I got myself some nice stuff to drink and listen to you guys for the most part and ask some questions. Well, I do remind you, we are the disclosure, okay? We need to disclose to each other as much as possible to help us keep the faith and keep the strength, because it can be very difficult to be an experiencer in this world. People will try to convince you, gaslight you, coerce you, threaten you. So really, it's important that we disclose to each other, just so people don't feel like they're standing out there all alone. As a matter of fact, this group has been one of the best things that happened to me. I'm glad I finally jumped online and did it. Why? Because honestly, you need people to share your experiences with. We are communal creatures. We like being in a group. Hi, Pam. Pam, I am. Not everyone is who they say they are. That's true. Not everyone's who they say they are. Not everyone is who they seem to be. So with that, I'm going to put the link out. And guess what? Like I said, it's going to be your show. Hang on. Let me get to that page. Invite a guest. Copy the clipboard, which I did. And then we post a comment. Come on. We post a comment. Okay. Almost there. The internet has been slow. Okay. And will my mods please copy that off in case somebody needs to come in? You can flash that. All right. And so I patiently await. I await you backstage. As soon as I see that little guest thing flash. Karen Lynn, hello. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pass the peace. That's cool. Candle is lit. Okay. And so are some of you. CME's shooting off the sun. Off the sun. Ah, cool. Yeah, we are going to have that. Yep, we're going to have some solar stuff. Still not seeing a solar flash, though, as they are describing. It still looks like we're going to be doing the chugga chugga chugga, but a little faster than we were. It's going to go a little faster now. So love y'all too. Mm-hmm. So who's going to click that link? That's the link to come in here. David, you were talking last time, and I told you could come in again. And Denali, maybe. Okay, I'm going to start telling one of my stories then. So there. Let's see, but which one? Because I have so many. Yeah, David was doing great before I had to cut it off for a lack of battery, but I've got that. Oh, actually, I've got my power pack charged up and a long cord. Got the power pack, and I have a cord. So we can go on longer if it starts to filter. We don't have to worry about the battery so much now. So he's got to grab coffee. The rest of the story. That's right, David. We want to hear the rest of the story. I'm not doing cards tonight unless I do just the new deck because I drop my cards all over the floor and I'll pick them up eventually, but I just don't feel like picking them up. I feel like listening to stories. That's what tonight's going to be about, is just listening to stories. So my story, one of my stories is when I was a kid, I had what my parents thought were invisible friends. They weren't invisible to me. To me, I had a lot of friends, invisible friends. Later, I was to find out that the house that we were in was haunted. And but as a kid, it didn't occur to me that that's what was happening. I thought it was just, kids talk to having imaginary friends. Maybe they all have friends that are real but imaginary, okay? I mean, who's to say, right? But it wasn't until way later that I realized these people didn't have a body, and that meant they were ghosts. And when I found that out, I tried to tell people, and then they just acted like, right, kid, yeah. So early on, having that kind of an experience and having people, right off the bat, there's people to this day that will never talk about their experiences unless they are drunk on their ass. Okay. And that's unfortunately what we have been left with because of the derision heaped upon us and the desire to control our knowledge, our ability to know what's going on in the world. I have linked in MeWe, you gotta go to our MeWe group, Galactic Woo Crew. I have linked to Rome Burning. So if you could not find it, I found it. I haven't watched them yet, but they look very similar to the ones that I saw before. One of them even describes the obelisk getting hit and before Rome started burning. So I spoke of that yesterday, and I guess I don't know if the fires are out or not yet. I haven't seen anything about that. So I couldn't tell you that, but I can tell you that we've got footage of it waiting for you and MeWe. Yeah, when people drink, they care less what others think of them, less ego and more truth. Plus, they can always say, "Oh, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was talking about." Can always make a disclaimer there. Yeah, basically, Denali's talking about how she hasn't seen a place that doesn't have unseen beings. I haven't met too many either. I haven't been to too many places either that don't have a bunch of unseen beings of various types. And they're not always ghosts. Sometimes they are nature spirits, sometimes they're elementals, sometimes they're your guides. There's all kinds of things that it can be besides a quote unquote ghost or a spirit of a deceased person. So you can have far different things going on than just the spirit of a deceased person. You can have negative spirits. You can have positive spirits. You can have neutral things that are just happening through and kind of bored and want to play with you. All of these things can happen, and they do happen to people. I'm going to have some of my wonderful lemon limeade with no sugar and purified water, purified alkaline water, to make sure that I don't get dry. And I'm going to say, if you got something nice to drink or smoke or whatever it is you do to relax, just relax. And maybe you'll get drunk enough to come in and tell us all about it. So let's see, what have we got? We got Barry coming in. Okay, so we got Linda, Pam, Denali, David. I feel like Miss Barbara. Ocean's Deep Blue. I wonder who that is. Wait, that's me. Karen. And is that it right now? Okay, that's it for the moment. Barry. Yep. Okay. So, not supposed to hit your nose like that because it looks like you're picking it. Okay. 7, it's a lucky number. I'll check to that. Ah, very good. Tea and coffee, huh? I like tea and coffee too. But in the heat, it's really better to have something like lemon. Lemon actually helps you deal with the heat. And here we go with the natural cures and remedies again, right? And Denali and I were just talking about that today on the phone. So we were talking about one of the things that we all seem to be interested in is natural cures, because we don't want to have to deal with chemicals, and we don't want to have to trust pharmaceuticals, which most of us don't trust them very much at all. In fact, when was the last time they gave us something that didn't maim or kill us, is my opinion. You know, when were they touting something that really was good for us? I mean, really turned out not to be harmful. I don't know when that was. And, so, and you can question about various things. You can argue about various things that we won't discuss right now. I never dreamed that this show was going to end up being in any way political. In any way. I really never took an interest in politics much. But then at some point I realized I want things to be better. I'm willing to work towards that. Oh my God, I'm an activist. I must be an activist. Darn. It just snuck up on me. All I really wanted was just for things to be better. That's all I wanted. I didn't mean any harm. Just the opposite. But as soon as hello, Project Skyfalls. But then I started going down these rabbit holes and getting red pilled and realizing that, and this was quite some time ago though. I mean, I've been on the red pill for a long time. Pretty early on, I decided that it was true that everything that we're taught is wrong. And the more I looked into it, the more right that looked. Everything we've been taught about our history, everything we've been taught about everything is just wrong. Is it on purpose or not? I don't know. A lot of it looks like it is on purpose. How are we supposed to feel about that? It's going to take a lot for me to ever trust again entirely. I question everything now. And that's ground yourself and hug a tree. Take your shoes off, ground yourself and hug a tree. Here's the song. Who brushes her, Barry, if you find a woman who brushes her nostril hairs and conditions them, shampoo, conditioning, maybe oils them a little, man, that's your soulmate. Okay, Barry. So, nobody. So I have a special show, a call-in show, and you guys are just sitting there now, not calling in. No, it's okay. I'll just keep telling stories until somebody feels like it. Oh, somebody popped in. It's David. All right, add him to the stream. Somebody popped in.
Oh shit!
It's David.
Hold on just a second.
All right, add him to the stream. You gotta mute your YouTube.
Yeah. Hold on just a second.
All right, add him to the stream. You gotta mute your YouTube.
Yeah. Hold on just a second.
All right, David, you gotta mute your YouTube. You must always mute your YouTube before you come in. And I don't know. It worked fine last night. All hail the David came. David's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Well, maybe it could be quantum entanglement. Oh, that's so romantic. Quantumly entangled nose hairs, Barry. It's so you. I want that for you. I love that for you. A girl that you can have quantum entangled nose hairs and have, that connection, that special connection forever. Okay, so he's busy trying to figure out what happened and why that was doing that. But really, anybody that comes in, it's just you got to mute YouTube. Well, back to the stories. Okay. So, thing about Sasquatch and other cryptids, and I'm sure there's been times when I swear some of the people that I've met in town, even not anywhere weird, but just in town, that they are not freaking human. Okay. I mean, I'd see them change and be like, yeah, most of them are hybrids in the town where I live, at least the ones that hang out in the bars. We'd go do some stuff and then we'd go to the bars. It's very common in Kent to go to the bars. We had one we used to go to called the Zephyr, and I swear we walked in there one night and I was still in an altered state from being at a ceremony. And I looked around and everybody there, I swear, everybody there looked like some version of an ET, like some kind of ET. And some I didn't even know the name of. And I'm like, whoa, I haven't even started drinking yet, so there's no excuse for this. But it was strange to think that all of these people, and most of them, I also picked up that most of them were not aware that they were hybrids. They were not aware that I could see their other form. And I've found that across the board. There are people walking around who don't know who they are. I'm trying to read Matches How to Hunt. Had a good story from the Owl Man yesterday. Oh, owls. Yeah, owls are very interesting. They do seem to have a correlation with paranormal experiences, particularly with ETs, abduction experiences, and other kinds of experiences with the paranormal. So owls we are told, are wisdom and magical and so on, but and knowledge and all of that, but really they seem to be associated with the paranormal. So how can you tell if you were a hybrid, says Project Skyfall. Well, usually at some point you suspect, okay? As in, you'll think to yourself, my, that's awfully odd. Most hybrids are kind of misfits, like misfit toys. They don't really feel like they belong to the main group. I mean, a lot of us, even though we can overcome that and be very gregarious and very friendly and very outgoing, a lot of us still feel we're just nowhere different. And we don't know how exactly we are, but we have different feelings, different experiences. A lot of times, there will be stories circulating in your family about unusual occurrences, or stuff having happened to people. If you've had any paranormal experiences, you probably are. You could very well be a hybrid because they seem to attract them. And I will also say that in a larger sense, all of us are hybrids, because the ETs themselves are telling us that we are actually a combination of species. So this is why they cannot find the so-called missing link, is because the missing link is an ET, or more than one ET. It looks like we've been tweaked more than once. So all of us are hybrids. If you're a hybrid with a specific purpose, a specific bloodline that is very front and center, you will usually find that you have some characteristics of that particular ET type. And a lot of times they will make contact with you at some point in your life, whether that be in your dreams or whether that be physically or some other way. Usually you do get contacted. You do get some kind of contact. And some people are here under contract. Some people have contracted to be here for a certain time and to do a certain thing. Some people are here on behalf of their society to test something, to be part of some experiment, something like that. So if you feel like you might be, you probably are. Yeah. So, hello, Circle K. And Project Skyfall doesn't know if they got contacted, Will. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, David. David, why don't you try coming in again, but making sure that you mute your YouTube? Because you don't need to have your YouTube be a platform for specifically for cats. That could work. I think that's going to be my company, MewTube. I'll make a fortune. But you don't need it because you can mute it, because the StreamYard will bring you right in and you'll be able to hear through StreamYard. Fun is this group and this group is fun. Well, thank you, Karen Lynn. We would like to think so. That's true. Yeah, we have Spidey skills. Okay, the link is gone. Well, we fix that. Oh, come on now. Don't do that. Here, hang on. Mods, please copy this link so that if anybody wants to come in, you can just hit them with it. Post a comment. I'm trying to hit it. Come on now. There. Gotcha. Did it work? Yes. Okay. YouTube, cats 24/7, subtitles not needed. That's right. Although there'll probably be a lot of well, hey, come on, guys, we got to make our first million, right? Who's in on YouTube with me? When you were young, you could feel spirit around your bed. See, Project Skyfall, that's just the thing, is most of us have had some kind of experience, whether it was very overt or not. You know, people have different kinds of experiences. They're not all the same. I mean, some people have wild stuff, some people have subtle stuff. It's sometimes up to what the person can take. I mean, not everybody can tolerate the wild and crazy stuff. That would drive some people up the wall nuts, but other people, they live for the weird. There are some people, I know there was one guy that I dated for a very brief time. He kept saying, but where's mine? But where's mine? But where's mine? You've had this and you've had that happen. You've had this other thing happen. But where's mine? And I said, I don't know. All I know is that I've had it all my life. And the fact that he didn't, I couldn't at that time tell him why, except maybe he was just too literal. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay. Oh, sounds a lot better.
It's excellent now.
I think it's fixed.
Excellent. I had like 4 or 5 pages up at the same time, and when I would click them, they were going off, but it was buffering, so it was taking it a while to go off. So I just shut it all down.
I hate when that happens. Denali said a good thing it wasn't a porn site or something.
Could be. There's a big CMEs, aren't they headed here today or tomorrow? The big CME is supposed to hit.
Probably. We've been having a lot of sunspot activity, so it not surprised me one bit. And Project Skyfalls is saying, is there a lot of Bigfoot from where you're from? Yeah, there sure are. This Bigfoot playground here in Ohio, weird Ohio. How about you, David Castle? Do you have Sasquatch up in your area much?
There's some sightings here and there, and I don't know. There's a lot of inbreeding, so maybe some of them just might look like Sasquatches. So you never know what you're going to run into up here.
Okay. Hey, Marilina's in. Hey, Marilina. Marilina. La, 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 la. Our South African princess is in. Okay, so basically, how many people here think they may have had a Sasquatch encounter of any kind? Just because people are so Sasquatch crazy these days. And I think it's because more people are probably seeing them or suspecting that they're around. Hey, hello, Wagon. Good that you made it in. I'm pretty sure that we've got them around. I mean, well, I know we've got them around here. Ohio is a hot spot. So is one of the hotspot states, one of the big states.
Plus, it's got a lot of mountains in it, so they probably have a lot of underground entrances they can go from around there.
Yeah, anywhere with a lot of hills, mountains, ravines, waterways. They love to be near waterways like anybody would.
Yeah.
Need waterways.
Big
So
fours for cover. They like a lot of cover.
a lot of cover, big trees, and really that may be why up in the north we have a little bit different kind, because we have bigger trees up here than we do like down in, say, Florida. So bigger Sasquatch can hide up here. So yeah, we basically have a beautiful playground for them with lots of deep ravines where they can travel through and never be seen, and places to hide all over the place.
Yeah.
So,
You
and I
usually,
hear them.
yeah, and a lot of people, if you get too close to them, you'll have a panic attack. One of my friends is from Grayson, Kentucky, and he heard something one night and was going off in the back of his woods with a flashlight and a muzzle loader. And he said that he could have took down an elephant. If it would have been an elephant charging at him, he could have took it down. But he got a little too close, and he had this fear just run through him, he said, and he dropped his gun, dropped his flashlight, and just started running for no. And he said he ran for probably about 2 or 3 minutes, and then was like, what am I running from? I had a gun that could have blown up anything in my hands. And it takes control of your mind somehow and makes you do things that you normally wouldn't do.
Well, they have a sort of a mind speak,
Mm-hmm.
and that is definitely one of the things that I've noticed is they have an ability to, and it's not quite telepathy, it's a little different. That's why they're calling it mind speak, is because it's more, you get an idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's more not as many words. It's
You kind of
really
feel it with your emotions. You kind of feel what they're thinking.
Yeah, it's more of a feeling, more than a feeling. So yeah, that's one of the things that it really supposedly the ETs have that too, is a type of telepathy.
Great.
So everybody but us.
Yeah.
Everybody but us has got this developed. I think it's high time we better get on the stick here and develop.
Well, I think we got a lot of abilities that are going to show up that maybe some of the frequencies they're putting out here or have been trying to suppress, like telepathy. I think we've always had telepathy. I don't even think if you're from another planet, they would consider telepathy a superpower. It's kind of like a given thing that everybody has, and we just never been taught how to develop it.
Yeah, the only reason we don't have it is probably it was stunted somehow. It was squashed, and we haven't developed it all back yet, although some people have. There are some people that I run into that do have that back, and I didn't trust myself enough when I met one of them. One of them was a reader, another reader that I met on the Psychic Fair circuit. And I heard in her mind, she gave me the answer to a question she asked me. And I wasn't sure that I was really hearing it or not. And she laughed. And I said, I thought it was that, but I second guessed myself. She said, that's the problem, isn't it? We second guess ourselves a lot.
Yep.
Afraid to be wrong.
And maybe it just wasn't part of our experience that we were supposed to be coming here to be a part of our experience. Maybe we're supposed to be humans right now, and a lot of humans haven't developed this yet. So maybe we're here to help them, push them along and help them develop it. Maybe we can levitate. Maybe we can use telepathy. There's all different kinds of powers that we could possibly have, but all the educational systems and all the religious systems and any system that you can pretty much think of is to suppress us and to put us down and to make us in our minds think we're so little that we just don't matter, you know?
Welcome, Gemini Moon. Yeah, well, I think that part of it is that we have been suppressed on purpose as a control method.
Yep.
Because, people who can do all of this are going to be a lot harder to control.
And also, they're going to have labels on them. And labels, all the labels do is divide people. It's just a label, it helps separate people even more and give people a reason to think that, well, how come he can do it and I can do it? I guess I'm not good enough to do it. And you get this self-doubt in your mind, and you get all these little negative thoughts that run through your head of why you can't do it and somebody else can, other than thinking, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Right. I mean, really, when you run into somebody like that, you should be thinking, hey, maybe I could do that too.
Absolutely. Why not? Why not you is what you should be saying.
Yeah,
if that person can do it, why not? Yeah.
Look at it the positive way, in fact. Yeah.
It's all about opening your mind.
And who else made it in? Wait a minute. Somebody else made it in. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Circle K. Okay, Circle K and Gemini, welcome. Anyway, please feel free to join the discussion. I can have more than one guest up in here. So, and Marlene is a lot of people are in. Yeah. So basically, have you guys really run into people who are really strong telepaths yet? Supposedly there are some ETs that'll blow you away, literally, that will make you feel like you've had your brain sucked out through your nose or something.
The Greys love to do that. And when something really strong's around you, the first thing you feel is their energy. And sometimes people mistake that energy as having a panic attack. I'm feeling something's around me, I've got to have a panic attack. You should not have the panic attack, but take a couple of deep breaths. Just get through the initial feeling of this energy that is around you, because it's just energy. It doesn't mean it's good energy. It doesn't mean it's bad energy. It's just energy. And later on, you can figure out, once you feel the energy and see, hey, is this just the way this thing feels, or am I getting ready to get attacked? You'll understand that, and you'll feel it. If that's what's getting ready to happen, your intuition will tell you, but you need to grab a hold of yourself real fast and just take a couple of deep breaths. When the first time I had experience with the orbs, I thought my heart was going to pump out of my chest. I thought for sure I was going to have a heart attack, and I probably would have, but the fact that I couldn't move at all, I was totally frozen and couldn't move. And then my heart started popping out of my chest, and then these 3 orbs appeared. And once they got there, kind of settled in for a couple of seconds, the energy felt really, really good. It didn't feel threatening. It was just different. It was kind of like if you were to stick your finger in a light switch and it actually felt good and didn't feel so, extreme. A lot of the times it's all about how do you handle the energy, and you're going to get more experiences with more things the better that you handle the energy when you feel it when it comes in. So my suggestion is just take a couple of deep breaths, and before you panic, make sure that this is not just energy that you're feeling.
Right, because it can feel pretty weird. Simon, how you doing?
Hi, Simon.
Hello, Mama D. How are you, my dear?
I'm just jolly as all get out because you're on.
I don't know what you said. I missed it. Sorry.
It's like good to see you, Simon.
Yes, Mama D. What's up, my mama?
Well, we're just talking about everything tonight. Tonight's all about you guys.
No, me too.
A channel who 100% honors experiencers, and we really very much encourage you to share your experiences, because I personally feel that we are the disclosure to each other. We are the disclosure.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're correct.
And that's the only way we grow, Mama D. So you have to share your experiences with people and help them get through it. Maybe the experience you had will help somebody else get a little bit further in the experience they had.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Happened very much to me with the Sasquatch thing, because I had no idea I had been in touch with Sasquatch all my life. All my life. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who I was talking to in my mind. And here it was, as far as I can tell, it was them. They showed me pictures in my mind of times when I was with them and didn't know. They were around me and I didn't know. And it was triggered.
Can I hear that story, or did I miss the
stories? Yes.
Yeah. And if you want to have these experiences, the best way I can tell you to start is to set your intentions every night before you go to bed, and say, make sure you're mindful with your words. Say that you want to have a positive energy exchange, and you can either like name the beings, or you can say with a intergalactic being, and I want it to be a positive exchange for all the parties that were involved with it, so they don't try to flip it on you and turn it into something that you didn't ask for. You got to be real mindful with how you ask for it. And
wouldn't everybody ask for a positive experience? Like, I can't imagine someone asking.
Well, somebody could just ask for an experience. Somebody could just ask for an experience with one of these beings, Simon, and they might not say positive experience. They could just say experience, and you could have that experience, but you might be running, yeah, you might be on the Horsehead Nebula running from some kind of reptilian if you just ask for any kind of experience. Or if you could ask for a positive experience, it could be positive from another being's aspect and not from yours. And that's why I always say positive from both of the parties that were there. So both people got a positive energy exchange from that.
No, thanks for answering, man. I honestly, I don't know. I'm just making up as I go, type of thing. So no, but thanks for the answer, man.
Yeah. Well, all these words that we say, they're kind of spells, and we can cast spells upon each other, good and bad, and not even realize it. So that's why you have to be real mindful with the words that you use, because if you're some kind of a person where your guide might think you're a dick or something, might give you an experience that you asked for that you really didn't ask for, but since you didn't put the right words into it, it's just a little kind of a practical joke kind of a thing. Here, you want this experience? Okay, we're going to give you an experience that you asked for because you didn't ask the right way.
That's kind of nasty.
There's only one time in my life where I say anything bad against anyone. To be honest, we're all just learning, bro. So I'm not here to judge or cast anything on anyone.
Absolutely. But some people aren't who they say they are, and they don't care what they do to other people. They have no compassion because they have no connection to like a creator or to like anything. Not everybody's like you. Not everybody's like me.
That's right. It's not the same. Some people have better protections in place than others too. Some people have protectors 24/7. Some people do not. There?
Can you hear us, Simon?
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I lost you for a second. That's all. Hopefully.
No, I just didn't say anything. I'm listening to you. This show is all about you guys. By the way, I have a little bit of margarita here. So I'm in Margaritaville listening to you guys. So cheers, y'all.
Is it just me, or do I just want to give Mama Dia like the biggest hug in the world and like kiss her on the forehead and just tell her she's fucking awesome? Sorry, I first swore. I'm sorry.
No, Simon, thank you. I think you're awesome too, dog. Yo, dog, as we say in the States. Yo, dog. Thank you. I think you're awesome too. You guys are all, you know what? I have the best audience, really, because I have some of the best people from some of the other best chat rooms. I only go to the best ones. I only go to the best chat rooms. And you guys are some of the cream of the crop, really, as far as chatters are concerned. So I think you're all precious.
I'm absolutely terrible. So please don't follow in my footsteps.
All right, we'll kick you up for you when you need it.
Yeah.
Denali, like I said, Denali's got her Texas butt kicking steel toed boots on.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get chat. How do I do that?
You go into chat? Okay, you just, you can kick yourself out. You can say,
that's not very nice. You can just kick yourself to the curb, mate.
Or there should be a way that there should be a button up there that says comments. That you might be able to access.
I'll do
right
it my
under
way.
the picture. What I'm looking at is it says comments, banners, brand, it says different things, but it's like right under the pictures. If you don't have it, I don't know. But I don't know why they wouldn't let you see the comments.
And people like were on your show last night, like Ben last night, and like Simon, who might not know what their calling is or why they're here yet or anything. Well, you're on your yellow brick road anyway, so you're on your path, and you will find out eventually when it's time. You know, when divine timing hits you. If you weren't meant to be here right now, you wouldn't even be able to find this channel. You wouldn't even be able to locate this frequency that people are on. And sometimes you just got to give yourself a little bit more credit because you're here and a lot of people aren't. A lot of people still haven't woken up yet. And a lot of people, might not.
True. All true.
Yeah, well, I'm crazy. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Good for you.
But
we're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. Didn't Seal say that in his song? Now, he's right. We're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy because this world ain't right, as you might have noticed.
Yeah. And for some reason, the brainwashing didn't work on you quite as well as it worked on a lot of people. So there's also a reason for that.
Right. That's also... Oh, Smoking and G is Smoking and G, and hi there, honey. Hi, Smoking and G. Yeah, it's a call-in show, so mods make sure that StreamYard link gets out there. And our MeWe links, please put our MeWe links.
I see Marilena in chat. What's up, Marilena?
Marilena's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, I know. I've seen her, but I respect her. I told her that, and she's a cool chick. So I just wanted to say hi.
No, she's been on once, and then she's been in here a lot of times. That's right.
I know. I know, Mama D. I know.
So anyway, yeah, and y'all are welcome. Any of you are welcome. Thank you, Denali. Any of you are welcome.
G'day, Barry, mate. Barry Kustanchian.
So, what experience have anyone had with, shall we say, spirits? Spirits, or Sasquatch, or ETs, or just weirdness, time slips, anything, any kind of story. What do you got? Or what are your thoughts on these stories? What are your thoughts, for instance, on time travel? Stunning silence.
You're breaking up. Hold up.
Oh. Yeah.
When I was younger, I had a reoccurring dream from the age of like 2 to 10 or 11 years old. And I would wake up. It wasn't like I was dreaming and I was dreaming this. When I would wake up, there would be a large being that was Well, I called it the Jolly Green Giant to my family. I was like, the Jolly Green Giant's in my room. But just because it kind of looked like a teal kind of a, I know it more of a kind of a teal blue kind of a thing going on there. But from 2 to 10, I have probably about anywhere from 15 to 18 experiences with this being. I'd just wake up and it would be standing there. It wouldn't be doing anything to me. It would just be standing there watching from across the room. And it was really, really tall, which is why I guess I told my mom it was a Jolly Green Giant, but she would come in the room and she would open the door. It would kind of defragment from the head all the way down to the feet. So I always thought when she opened the door, the way the light came in and hit it, it was going under the bed. It kind of looked like it was ducking down and going under the bed because the top part of it was missing first. But I asked in my intentions one night, I asked to show me an experience that night that I had with another intergalactic being. I said, I want to see the experience. Show me if I've had those experiences. And it showed me every one of those dreams or dream experiences that I had. But this time it showed me from the kind of, I guess it's an Arcturian or an Arcturian hybrid kind of a being that was there. I saw it from their eyes. Yeah.
And actually, I guess some people from Orion, which I guess are not all evil. Mm-hmm. I guess not everybody from the Orion area are not all evil. However, some of them are blue as well. So Arcturian, yeah. So
Martian blue too.
Yeah. One of the more common ones to see is the Arcturians.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're a very advanced society, so they can do all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, probably they were there just to observe you. You might have just been there observing your thoughts and what was going on with you. But there's a very good chance that some of your genetics are Arcturian then.
I got the idea and the feeling that it was a friend that was just checking up on me. Every time it would come, it would check on me. And when I would yell to my mom, it would get pissed off that I yelled. It was like, God, I'm just here to see how you're doing. And it would just it'd disappear.
See, that sometimes is exactly what's going on. I have them show up sometimes like that too.
Yeah. But he wasn't there to do me any harm. He could have really, really messed me up, I guess, while I was asleep if he wanted to do me harm. But no, he always just wait until I wake up and just sit there and chill until I yelled. I'd just sit there and look at him. I'd be like, what are you doing in my room right now? And this thing would just be sitting there looking at me. And then maybe 5 or 10 seconds, I would eventually yell for my mom and say, Mom, the Jolly Green Giant's in my room again. Can you get this guy out of here? And she would open the door. Of course, she would look at, no, there's nothing underneath your bed. There's nothing. And I'd be like, I know, I just saw it. I was awake. She would even try to embarrass me by telling my girlfriends, because I was always a big kid. I was always, from 5th grade, I was almost 6 foot tall. I was one of the biggest kids in our grade school in the community around here. And it was huge. Its head was almost on the ceiling. It was really, really big.
Yeah, that's typical. They're a lot taller than us. We're actually on the shorter end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Things are certainly not in the universe the way that we've been told. We are actually small and sort of stunted, unfortunately, as we are right now. However, we have a great potential. I'm told we have tremendous potential, in fact. And that's one of the reasons everybody's so interested in us, is that we have tremendous potential for all kinds of things. So, and part of it is because we're such a mixed bag here. We are literally, I'm picking up, what they're saying, hundreds of species, stellar species, have left their mark on our genetics on this planet. Hundreds. That's a lot, right?
Absolutely. And they'll give
So,
you hints.
right. And if you look at how many stars there are, and you realize how many planets there could be life on, it's, if it were a lottery, we'd all be really, really rich, because of course there's life out there. Of course there's gazillions of different forms of life out there. There has to be. I don't see why it would only happen on one world, one time. That's ridiculous. That's just patently ridiculous. Life just doesn't work like that. As a matter of fact, the way that life is, life will find a way wherever it lands, even if it has to change drastically. They did that experiment. They did an experiment on a type of microscopic life that didn't even have the right mouth parts to eat the food that was there. It ate an entirely different kind of food, but leaving it in there, they developed a way to eat what was there, to be able to eat what was there. Life finds a way to continue. So really, when whoever was seeding the planets could have been different, quite a bit different from us, but we developed to adapt to this place. They could have had blue skin, they could have had green skin, they could have had, and oddly enough, we hear this little green man stuff, and it's bogus. We don't really see that. There's only been one recorded incidence of anybody running into green people, and it was children coming out of a cave, so they were in some way terrestrial, not even extraterrestrial necessarily. But that's a story you can look up, is the green children. But really, blue, though, we hear a lot of blue. And when I have had times when I was actually back on my world, or maybe it was on the ship. It's hard to tell, because some of these ships are so big. Some of the ships are so freaking big that they look like a world. I mean, some of these ships are multi-generational ships that move around and might as well be a world,
Yeah, I've heard they have like parks in them, or they have like beaches in them. And if you want to go, whatever your mind can make up, hey, you're there.
Right. It's like the holodeck on the Enterprise. It's very much like that. And I remember standing and talking to someone. We were very tall, and some of us were a little bit more blue looking, and some of us were a little more purple looking. But we were very tall and kind of long, sort of looked like a stretched out human. Kind of tall and slim, and some of us had dark. Mostly, what I saw was dark hair, but I'm sure that there were others that were different. But yeah, we mostly had dark hair, long hair. They wear their hair. Some wear their hair very long. Some wear no hair at all. They don't have hair. Some have no ears. So we actually look. Who we are very reminiscent of is the Hindu gods. The ones that I was standing around with, look like the Hindu gods.
I had a DMT experience where I ran into one. A Hindu god.
What?
I said I had a DMT experience where I ran into a Hindu god.
How did that go?
It was excellent, but anybody that takes DMT knows it only lasts 12 to 17 minutes. So, it's worth its money if you ever get a chance to do it. it's a welcome to long weekend. It's like right in the middle of the week, you get a long. That's right what a DMT experience is. It doesn't last as long as some of the other psychedelics, but once you do it, you're like, wow, because it's not like mushrooms. You don't just see pretty colors or anything. You're actually going somewhere, and you're doing something with other things that you wouldn't be in the same company with at the time. And all of them seem really happy to see you. They're like, yay, you made it.
Oh, yeah. Usually they are. They're your countrymen, your family.
Absolutely.
Mostly we have, and that's what, it's such a comfort to be us. Most of you have already experienced some of your ET family, and you know that they're there for you. You know that we right now we have ships around Earth that are our family, that they're here for us to back us up, not to lead. They're not going to lead, because that would be wrong, because the whole reason we're here doing this is so that we can be part of the human race, part of the planet, and take the lead in this situation, because we're the only ones that have the right to, are the people who dwell here. And if we don't, then we are not strong enough to be able to take our place among the others, among the other worlds that have banded together. And I don't care what you call it. I don't know what you call it. I've heard various names for it, but honestly, we have a lot of different. It's like the United Nations almost.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of different beings from a lot of different places that have decided to be allies, and so it's better than the United Nations. But apparently,
there's all kinds of things here, yeah. All kinds of them. Yeah, angels as well. There's angels here too.
Absolutely, yes, what we would call angels, although they don't call themselves angels. But yes, if you say, are you then what we would call angels? They would say yes, but it's not particularly what they call themselves necessarily. There are a couple of groups that get mistaken for angels all the time, because
and there's angel hybrids as well. There's angel hybrids as well.
Yeah, there are earth angels. There are. We have literally, what the United States wanted to be was a melting pot, and we were so proud of that at one time. I remember we were so proud of being a melting pot and welcoming everybody in, and honoring many different beliefs, many different traditions, many different races of man, different nationalities. But somehow we lost our way. But really, that melting pot idea is important, because here is where we do it more than I think probably anywhere in the universe. This is a melting pot. So we get more different cultures here. We get more different ET types here probably than most places. And it's a funny thing about nature. What is your best? Some of you know this. You go to get a hybrid animal that's, or a, let's say a purebred rather. Okay. You go get a purebred animal, and they have certain characteristics and so on that have been bred in. However, the strongest ones, the smartest ones, are quite often the moggies. They're quite often the mutts. They're quite often the ones that nature bred. In fact, there are cats in Greece that are basically very, very resistant to disease. They're very strong. They're very smart. They're very agile. They are bred by nature. And I forget what they call Aegean, an Aegean cat. And they hang around the wharves and stuff and make friends with the fishermen and eat that way. But they are very, very sturdy because they are bred by nature. And therefore, I really think that's part of what we're doing here on this planet. A lot of us are just, they're letting nature take its course and seeing what sifts out, what is an optimum. Well, some of us are. I think there are others of us that are trying to forestall that happening. But yeah, I think probably letting nature decide what kind of traits are going to come forward and what is that going to create. That would be a grand experiment indeed. And it's very interesting because sometimes people who are not like, I've heard it before that people who are maybe mentally challenged or have some other problems, they may give birth to a genius. It's just because of the way our genetics line up and the way that our soul genetics, we have a kind of a soul genetic too, imprint, a soul imprint. And just the certain alignments seem to make really dynamite people. So I'm sometimes thinking that maybe that's part of the experiment too, what we're doing here, is seeing just what kind of combinations we can come up with to see what kind of wonderful abilities we can have. But then somebody came along and threw a monkey wrench in that, didn't they?
We got hijacked.
We got hijacked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the cat people sent their representatives here, and they're here to have some kind of experience. They've all of these beings that participate in this little kind of world game experience that we're doing right now. Some of them bugs, what we might consider like an ant. I mean, I'm sure they've got planet of all ants and they got their own planet and they do things the way they do things. And they're just here to experience this as well.
Yes. I basically feel like, well, we're told that the Lyrans and the dogs, the Syrian dogs, they're both serious now. I'm serious now because the Lyrans lost their planet in a war and it was destroyed. And they're now parked around Sirius B, which seems to be the smaller or less bright of the two suns, which probably is which is probably better for life. But anyway, they have a beautiful planet. We've actually RV'd the planet that kitty cats come from, and it's gorgeous. Some of these places are absolutely gorgeous because they have a very high level of technology. They're extremely civilized, but they come here to help us. Almost all of your cats and dogs come here to help us in some way. They're our loyal companions through centuries. And it's because we are actually probably all from the same system. I mean, I know I have some Lyran in me, and I know I have probably, it looks like Arcturian, some maybe Andromedan, and of course the Nordic looking people. That's got to be on my dad's side, because his ancestors were Norse. And the Norse are probably exactly from the people who look Nordic, the aliens who look Nordic. I mean, that's got to be where they're from, right? I mean, it makes sense. So all of these species that we have here, every single one of them has a representative out there somewhere in the universe, is what I'm told. So everything from paramecium to spiders to cows to everybody has a species of a planet that they come from, and they incarnate here. So this is a very special little place, and
Absolutely.
a very wide range of life, and that's why it's so special, and that's why it's being fought over right now, why it's been hijacked, and why it's been disputed and all that, is because we're really, if we were allowed to reap the benefits of how wonderful this planet was, we'd all be rich. I mean, we'd all be styling. We'd be. I mean, and we're all going to be. I mean, when this gets righted, the cards keep saying abundance, abundance, abundance. We're all going to have a very much higher lifestyle.
Well, yeah, because we'll be able to manifest.
Yes, because we'll be able to manifest, and we'll be able to use our abilities on behalf of ourselves for a change instead of everybody else. So, watching.
Can you see my dog? That's Rufus.
We can't see you at all. It's dark.
Oh, okay.
Your screen is completely dark, David. Sorry.
Wow.
If you want us to see you, you're going to have to turn on the light or something. Okay, now we see a white dot.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild. And the little box is showing me perfect. And the little tiny box on the bottom.
Really? Because
Yeah.
we can't see.
Is anybody
seeing David? Because I can't see him. That's too bad.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's not coming up. But when you change, you can put your picture in there, in that white thing. You can put a picture of yourself in there if you'd like. But you'll get the hang of this. Yeah. In that little white thing right there, you'll be able to put a picture in if you desire. And you can change your name to somebody's saying they were near around the Isle of Man. You realize my little kitty cat, my sweet little kitty cat, Cowboy, is a Manx, and he's from the Isle of Man. And honestly, it must be cold and wet there a lot, because his fur is absolutely adapted to cold and wet. He has under fur that's woolly like a sheep, and his top fur is very slick and coarse, very, very slippery, very, very silky. And so he would have the ultimate umbrella slash parka on. And plus, having no tail, having just one stump of a tail, would keep his nether regions warm too, because he keeps his butt covered. That's part of his message to the world. Always keep your butt covered. Like some kitty cats, he keeps his butt covered. It's like it actually looks like a little sheep tail. He looks like he has a little sheep tail, a little curly sheep tail. So, so let's see, what else are they talking about in there? I love that his name is Cowboy. Yeah, well, that was just what I said. This is the way it happened. This is the way it happened. Oh, we lost David. Darn. Oh, well, something must have happened. Maybe he's trying to figure out how to do something. Anyway, so I had just gotten him. They had just installed him, his cat box, and And he was off hiding. He was hiding in one of my bookcases, and he didn't want to come out until everything was over. Everybody was gone, and once everybody was gone, I'm sitting on my bed in my bedroom. He comes in and he looks in the doorway. You know, he's like half in, half out of the doorway, and he comes and he like looks at me like, "Hi," you know, and like he's trying to figure me out. And I said, I noticed he's a cow-spotted cat, and I said, "Well, why don't you come on up here, cowboy, and get yourself a belly rub?" You know what he did? He just jumped right on the bed, right where I motioned. He turned his little belly up, his little fluffy belly up, and looked at me like, "Anytime." And so I rubbed his little belly, and we've been friends ever since. We've been in love ever since. He's my little cowboy. That's how he got the name Cowboy. He's a cow-spotted kitty. He's got his little cow spots. Mm-hmm. And he loves that name. He has told me before he loves that name. Oh, me too, Circle K. I love summer. I just love summer. I love spring toward summer. Yeah. Spring, summer, early summer. Late summer when it gets too hot, not as much. Oh yeah. Project Skyfalls. I have him a lot on this channel. There are many cowboy videos if you want to see him. They're all shorts, I think. And he is a sweet little guy. He's most of them are showing him getting a belly rub. Okay. He's absolutely loves a belly rub almost any time of day or night. And he's also well, he just wants attention. He loves attention. He's been sleeping a lot today, though. It's been pretty hot. So he's been sleeping under the bed. That's his cat cave. He's a baby. I don't know if he's maybe not feeling well or if the heat is just getting to him or something, but he definitely been spending a lot of time in his cat cave. So I'm thinking probably it's just a little hot for him. Like I said, he's got fur that's really adapted for cold and wet. So when it's not cold, he's probably not very happy. Yeah, he is a sweet boy. So, and every time I'll say, "Cowboy, you want to roll over and get a belly rub?" And he'll just roll right over. He had great big thick mats on his back that they never had taken care of. I can tell they didn't know how to take care of him. His fur is so woolly underneath the top coat that you have to keep him brushed. You know, he's one of those cats that even though he's got short hair, he looks like he's got short hair, but actually, I'd say he's really more of a medium length, and you have to keep him brushed because of that woolly undercoat. And otherwise, it'll knot up and tangle. And when I got those out, I could see his spine had gotten deformed from having those big mats in his back hair. And now that we have those out, he wants to roll on his back all the time. He's always rolling around on his back. Probably because it feels good to have those mats out of his fur. He's probably like, "Hey, this is comfortable now," you know? So I have many pictures of him looking at me upside down. So he's a cute little guy. He also is not very troublesome. He this is so cute. He'll eat like a normal cat sometimes, but sometimes he'll pull one kibble out at a time and hold it in his paw and plunk it down and eat it. And then he'll pull out another one and plunk it down and eat it. he's so funny. But he's been drinking a lot of water lately because it's been hot. Oh, you have a puppy, you don't have a kitty. I had a dog for a long time. I've had dogs, I've had cats, I've had guinea pigs, I've had snakes, I've had everything. I've had all kinds of things. I haven't had insects intentionally. Had a couple of times there's unintentional, but yeah, he's a sweetie. I don't know what I'd do without him now. I'm so used to him. I'd have to get another cat because I'm not happy without a kitty in my life. But I think he's going to last a while, hopefully. Although he is an older guy, I can tell because of his teeth. He only has his front teeth. He doesn't have back teeth. And I can tell by the way he plays or doesn't play very much that he's an older cat, because when they get older, they're not as much into playing and they're much more into just being a love bug. So that's really what he's doing. Is anybody else going to come in and keep me company in here? Or am I going to have to be alone? All right. You're going to make me do the rest of the show alone. Just be that way. See if I care. But I really feel like most of you have some kind of connection, or you would not be here asking about this kind of stuff or interested in this kind of stuff if you didn't have some kind of a connection with it. If you didn't either have an experience or some kind of a connection. And actually, we've all got a connection through, I believe, the Sasquatch, because it turns out we do know a lot of things about the Sasquatch, or at least we have managed to, some of the people who study Sasquatch have managed to glean a lot of information about them. And apparently they are our relatives. They are human, a type of human. So, and possibly, some have said that they are even possibly what we were before our genome was tweaked. So if our genome hadn't been tweaked by ET, we would probably be them. So we're actually a sister species, so to speak. And so that means that the things that they can do, we should be able to do. And that includes, according to Robin, who is, they call her the Sasquatch communicator, levitation is among those things. Being able to bend light around us and blend in is another one. Mind speaks another one. And there are other things too that we should be able to do that they can do. So it's something to strive for. I do want to mention that I am still interested. Anybody who's interested in this, please get in touch with me. I still want an eco community where we can actually form a real physical community of like-minded people where we can be ourselves and not have to worry how we talk about things or who's going to think we're weird because we're contacting ETs or whatever. I am still waiting for that to manifest. I would just like to have a nice place that where we're living in harmony with nature. You know, I don't want a commune. I want a community, one where we can just exist in a happier and more down-to-earth state and have our meetings and so on and make our explorations and so on. Got a little itch there. without without censure. So if you're interested in that, please contact me on MeWe, and I want to talk to you if you know how that could happen. There's also something I posted on MeWe. Those of you who came in late were wondering about Rome burning. I found it. I found the footage. Please go into MeWe and take a look at it. Galactic Woo Crew. And there's also a video on scalar energy healing tools that are becoming available now, that the elites have kept to themselves for decades, and now finally they are releasing it to us. But it's extremely expensive. But they are also a group that is looking to be able to install these things everywhere. So if you know anything about how we get funding to do a project like that, these places actually heal you just by you being in the atmosphere of it. It provides a healthy atmosphere for you to heal, and then your body heals itself. So it actually doesn't heal you. It provides you the proper atmosphere to heal yourself. This is why I want the eco village. I think if we were living properly, we would not have most of the ills that we have. We wouldn't be sick probably at all. There are people who have done this and they don't get sick, and they can eat all the food they want, real food, and they don't get fat. They don't get obese. They don't have an obesity problem. They don't have energy issues. They don't get sick. But the places where they've done this, they usually end up getting raided. And one very notably, the guy was talking about how they had a permacultured garden. They have permacultured garden, so it produces food all year. And they don't have to do much except weed it once in a while. It regrows itself. So most of the stuff there is perennial. And it keeps regrowing and regrowing with it seeds itself and everything. So this is completely possible. And I'm not particularly a vegetarian, so we're going to need a place to keep the well, basically part of it will probably be a sort of a farm. So Project Skyfall says I haven't been watching Bigfoot videos a lot. You know what? Until I realized that I had been around, until they showed me that I'd been around Sasquatch all my life, I had absolutely no interest in the subject at all. It never even crossed my mind that I had been around Sasquatch. It never crossed my mind. And then when I heard the stories, and that's what I say, our disclosure is so important. When I started hearing other people's stories, it's like, wait a minute. Is that what went on? These structures. I was seeing the structures all the time. I used to hike through the woods all the time. I live on the Emerald Necklace. They call it the Emerald Necklace here in Ohio. It's a series of parks along the river. I hiked them all. And I saw lots of the structures and stuff, had no idea what they were. The big X structures, the teepee-like structures and all that. The woods with pixie stick saplings all over, scattered like pixie sticks. That I am told, and I was getting this from the Sasquatch matriarch that I was mind speaking with, that is one of their ways of protecting themselves. It's very hard for humans to cross that kind of terrain, especially when the weeds grow up high. It's very hard to get through that kind of terrain without breaking an ankle or something. So that is one of their defenses. Everything they do makes sense from an ecological basis. Very simple technology, very, very simple technology, but extremely efficient, extremely effective. So they're intelligent. They are not in any way, are they dumb animals or just apes? In no way are they. No. They are people, okay? People of the forest. And they usually like to be called that, although they will accept Sasquatch. They really prefer to be people of the forest because that's what they are. They live in forests. That's where they're adapted to. That's where they feel at home. That's where they get all their resources. And they are willing to be, they're willing to forge friendships under their own conditions, though. They're very picky about those conditions, I hear. So, and they're very mistrustful of humans, and who can blame them? So, we already have another intelligent species here besides dolphins, because people said, well, if we can't even communicate with dolphins and can't even figure them out, how are we ever going to do, ETs? We've got another form of life here that's intelligent life, and that is in the form of Sasquatch. Plus, you are rubbing shoulders with ETs all the time and don't even know it. A lot of them live here, and I've been told this by my guides and by other experiencers and by people who study this. There are many ETs that live on this world. They live right among us because they can pass. You are probably around them all the time. They just don't look that different, okay? For various reasons. Some of them really just don't. Like, for instance, the Norsemans and the Pleiadians don't look very much different from us. They could quite easily pass, right? Some of them could very easily pass for us. Others have disguises that they use. But the truth is, this planet has been, ETs have been among us for a long, long time. So if you have any concerns or worries that we have ETs among us, it happened a long time ago. It's been that way. So there's no use being afraid of it or worrying about it. I mean, it just is a fact. And the sooner you wrap your head around that, the happier you'll be, because you'll just, they could have killed us a million times over because they are that much more advanced, some of them. But if they were going to do that, they would have done that. So if anything ever happens, you got to realize they could have killed us a million times over already if that's what they wanted to do. And if Sasquatch wanted to kill us, they could have done that too. They're much bigger than we are. They're much stronger. They're much better adapted. All we really got here is our brains. We've got our big brains and our ability to make things. But as far as advantages, physically, and in some cases mentally, other species have an advantage. Let's see. Denali Princess says, I don't remember ever having contact, but we camped at a lot of places that I now hear stories about. And if they can disappear like they do, they've got something going on we don't. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they've been the light around them. And I have run into this before. I actually did a job for somebody, was working on a job along with Sean. One time Sean and I worked together on eliminating supernatural threats for people. And one of the shadow people that had gotten into a person's house, had been scaring the kids. The kids knew about it and were talking about it. The grandfather could see it. The people themselves could not. The owners could not. And since they had the grandfather living in the basement, the children also with their bedroom in the basement, the child, the girl, would always want to take the dog with her as a guardian. And something would scare the guinea pigs. Now, I've had guinea pigs before. They're prey animals. They're prey for everything. They scare very easy. They're very, very attuned to danger and predators. They will go off the minute a predator enters. Okay. I know this because I had my guinea pigs go off I had guinea pigs going off for no reason. And all of a sudden, get real excited, wait, and real scared and huddled together. That means predators nearby. So that's what was happening with her guinea pigs, and then something killed them. They just died. We had to figure out what was going on. And when I looked at this thing, this shadow person, it looked for all the world like some kind of lizardy thing. It actually looked like something from Dungeons and Dragons game. And we both saw that because we both played the game before, and we were like, did you see a thing that kind of looked like that? And it's like, yeah, it looked like an orc from D&D. And I'm like, what on earth is it doing here? You know, how can this be even possible? And it had an armor on. I realized because psychically I can cut through the crap. It had an armor on that was bending light around it. That's why it was a shadow being. And so as I'm looking at it with my third eye, first I'm getting all this reflection in my third eye. It's going, whoo, like sparkles. And then it cuts through and I'm seeing this thing and I'm going, holy crap. Is that an orc? And where the heck did it get the fancy armor? He was thinking the same thing. So basically, we had to dispatch that. Now, I wish I had done it myself, because when I get rid of things, I get rid of them for good. When I get rid of something like that, it's gone, period. You will never see it again. But he wanted to take the lead with it, and he is the one who put it, I guess, in the portal. And so I'm not sure what happened with that, whether it ever returned or not. I haven't really heard. But that was one of my specialties, was closing portals. It still is. So if you have a portal opening that is letting in things that you don't like, I'm one of the people who can fix that for you. Anyway, the next thing is I find I can't close the portal because there's some kind of weird, funky looking cord sticking out of it. So I'm like, what the heck is this thing? I cannot close it. So Sean comes over and he looks at the thing and he goes, I see the problem. This great big long cord here is kind of nasty, kind of gray, green, and black, and nasty looking. And he said, well, you know, he was the strong man of the group. He was like the Hulk of the group. And he gave it a pull. He said, let's pull on it and find out what's on the other end of this cord. And when we pulled it out, it looked horrible. It looked like some kind of organ. Now, he said it looked like some kind of organ, but to me, it looked like a placenta, a nasty one, like if cancer had a placenta, which, by the way, according to a cellular biologist, cancer, the cancer is like a placenta, but without a baby. It's made of the same material in your body. So all of those tumors are made of the same stuff as placenta. So this thing looked like some ghastly cancerous placenta. And we're like, God, this is gross, you know? So we had to get rid of that. But then we were thinking, is this what that shadow person came out of? Was it somehow birthing a shadow person? Was that somehow its lifeline into this other wherever that portal went? After he pulled it out, I closed the portal, and it was basically looked like an iris of a camera. That's what they often look like, is kind of like the iris of a camera. And when the cord was there, it was like this. It was like trying to close, and it wouldn't. Once we got rid of it, it just closed. And so we cut off that access in, and then they stopped having the phenomena. But it's too bad that their guinea pigs had to die before they came to us. Later on, the grandfather said he had played D&D quite a bit, and he had had this feeling that it was some kind of thing like that. He had a similar feeling. So did his experience influence what this thing looked like? Or had he somehow pulled this thing into reality? Was it some kind of a tulpa? A tulpa, if for those of you who don't know, is a thought form. Was it some kind of thought form that was created through a lot of concentration? Remember, we're creators. We can create things. Some of these things that some of you experience, you created, or somebody near you created. So that is one thing I've learned in my travels, is sometimes we can create things and not know we did. I have created thought forms and had to get rid of them because they become problematic. After a while, they can take on a personality of their own, completely separate of you. And that's what I think happens a lot of times, is people create a thought form and lose control of it. So in this case, that might have been part of what was going on. I'm not sure, but it's certainly possible. Because when I was playing D&D regularly, I started to see some of the things that we were concentrating on in the game showing up, actually manifesting. It's part of the reason I quit playing. I was a GM. I was really into it. I was a geek. I was a GM. I was really into gaming and science fiction and all kinds of things like that. And I left the gaming because I did not want to be responsible for. I had this strange feeling that somehow I was helping create these things, and I didn't want to create the monsters in the book. And I left, and it was kind of sad because there were people who thought I was a pretty good GM. But so anyway, you can absolutely create monsters from your id. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you saw that old science fiction show. What was it? Plan 9 from Outer Space with the id monster. But that was an instance of a monster that was created with the psyche. So yeah, we are powerful enough to do that. We can absolutely create things with our psyche. That's why I say, remember, you are divine. You are creators. What you speak can become reality. What you imagine and dwell on can become reality. That's how an unscrupulous being can get us to design our own demise, is we are the creators. Okay? We create. And we can create good things or bad things for us. And if they could get us to create it instead of having to do it themselves, because they are not creators, then all the better. I've got something I want to do. I want to Hey, cannabis resolution, I may say. Yeah, we are all miracles, exactly. One thing I would really like to advise you, and I would like you to join me in a campaign I'm doing where we now really start to pay attention to what we say and let us come up with some things to say on a regular basis that are very empowering for us instead of otherwise, and see what the result is. Like, for instance, I'm going to say that at 65, somehow, I'm going to be better than I was at 25. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be more beautiful. I'm going to have more money. I'm going to, I definitely already live in a nicer place. I'm going to have more freedom, more love, more whatever it is you want. Start speaking it into existence. I might actually start doing almost something daily along these lines. But manifesting, yeah, Brett Denali, I am. I am. Mhm. Hey, I see a guest. Okay. I finally saw you. Sorry. There's David again.
Yeah.
There you are.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, so far so good.
Excellent. I
Take it
took a
away, Dave.
picture of it. Can you see me in the box, or is it still blacked out?
No, it's still blacked out.
That's crazy. In the bottom one, it's showing me just perfect.
Sorry.
And that's okay. It happens when I start talking about UFOs or start talking about certain things. Last weekend, it was my audio. I'm on a little tiny Chromebook, and there's only one place to change the audio, and I've never changed the audio in my life, but all of a sudden it just doesn't work right.
We've all had some,
Yeah.
talk to us. We've had some problems with our phones. Yeah. And our internet. I've had a lot of trouble with my PC and my internet. So, yeah, there are probably reasons for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure bots looking around for stuff.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, or if you have pictures and you show pictures on the internet or whatever, they start making you have a little technical issues here and there to dissuade you from doing that.
I have lost so many pictures.
Yeah,
I have so many pictures. I see them. You know what? I sneak them in the thumbnails. You can look back on my thumbnails for the show, and quite a few of them are pictures. So, several. Yeah, I have maybe a dozen that are pictures that I have taken. And when they surface again, sometimes they do surface again. And when they do, I hurry up and publish them somewhere.
the first time it happened to me that it switched and I lost a lot of photos. The next morning I had woken up and for some reason I was typing a text message to someone as soon as I got up, and then the text message was in Russian. So my keyboard stopped speaking English overnight and started speaking Russian as well. And then all my photos were gone.
Holy crap. I haven't had anything quite that extreme, but I did have one picture that a friend had sent to me that was an entity that was in her kitchen that she took a picture of in a completely black room. Now, this was weird. Completely dark room is how she takes her spirit pictures. And she took a picture of it, and there's blackness that separates from the rest of the blackness in this. It was a still picture, but I still saw something look, realize it was being watched, and duck out of a frame. And it
I wonder
was
if that was a shadow being. I wonder if it was a shadow being.
it looked like, whoa, shit, they can see me, and then just stuck sideways out of the frame. And I'm like, huh? Because she had a lot of weird stuff going on at her place. So that was another instance of a shadow being. So, and it was causing a lot of problems. They can cause a lot of problems. Some people say, and it could be true, that some of them are simply remote viewers, other remote viewers, because that can happen. You can remote view a remote viewer, or you can be remote viewed while you're remote viewing. We know this can happen because it's happened to people. However, some of them are not so good. And some of them, the reason they're shadows is because they're sucking up the energy. They're energy suckers. So they're sucking up light as well as everything else. Others of them, like I said, have some kind of way to bounce the light around them so that you can't see them.
And some of them are just archonic attachments that are there, or maybe thoughts that are there to find you at your weakest point when you're, say, depressed or angry, and they're there to feed off your energy. So that's why I think it's very important to every day start off the day, leave the TV off. That black cube's just sucking your energy dry. Turn on your radio instead and find some music that you really like. If you can afford Sirius, it's got like radio stations from the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, or it could be just a local radio station, some kind of music that you like, or program your playlist and put it on and start your day that way. And that way you start it off and you're in a good mood. If you got weed or whatever you smoke it and get yourself started. Mood. Yeah, with your energy go the right way.
As who comes in is Mr. Kitty Cat.
Yeah.
Mr. He's my good mood kitty, okay? He's my good mood in the morning. He is my good mood.
Yeah, that's like telling the day you're going to kick the day right in the nuts, and you're going to say, no, this is mine. I've got my energy going the right way, and there's nothing that you can do to push it in the opposite way. And as soon as you get the energy going in the right way, little things can happen that are negative to you. Maybe somebody, cuts you off in traffic, or somebody doesn't signal, and you don't, the little things just bounce off of you. That doesn't bother you as much anymore. And you've got yourself and your energy going the right way. And once you get your energy going in the right way, that's half the game right there.
Absolutely. No, I agree. You need to be responsible with your energy. There's no doubt about that. You have to be responsible for your own energy. Yeah. And I'm going to turn the camera around and let you see he's come out for his speaking part.
He's come out for his nightly worship.
Yeah. There you go. There he is. Yep. Meow. Meow. Your adoring fans are right here.
It's probably one of your best friends when you were a Lyran.
Probably.
You could be with a spirit guide or something.
Probably. We've been around a rodeo or two before, haven't we? This ain't our first rodeo together, I don't think. Nah. He knew the minute he came into my room, he looked at me like, well, are you going to ask me if I'm the bed or what? And it's like, I'm here now.
That's your intentions too, to have an experience with one of those beings that you've while you've been here. You've probably dated people that had a strong Lyran DNA or something that's been around you. And if you set your intentions to have that like a positive energy exchange, you'll remember these things and you'll be like, oh, I know why they did that now, because they were, one of those cat beings. That's what they did.
Maui was definitely a Lyran, and I know that because I saw her pass. She did not just pass, she ascended. Yeah. I saw her go through the rainbow body ascension. Rainbows filled the room and white light, and she turned into rainbows and white light, and a round portal of energy of white light and rainbows opened up. She rose up out of her little furry, sick kitty body, and she walked through that portal into a beautiful green field with trees around it, into basically a lovely garden-like beautiful world. And then later and this was the weird part that surprised me, is in my mind I saw something that looked kind of like a cupboard open up. And here it was her. It was like a window. It was like she was looking at me through a window. And she was all white. She was all white. And a cat. She looked just like a cat, an all white cat. And she just looked at me and she says, "Well, I'm fine now, Mom." And I said, "Oh my gosh, is that you, Maui?" And she said, "Yeah, it's me. This is the way I really look." I said, "Wow, you're beautiful." She said, "Well, thank you. So are you, Mom." I said, "You keep calling me Mom." She said, "Well, that's what you like me to call you. You kept referring to yourself as Mom. It's a title of honor here." And I said, "Well, thank you. I'm very honored and to be still your mom." And she said, "Yes, well, I wanted to reassure you because we all know how you are. You'll be blaming yourself that maybe you could have done something different. But I gotta tell you, it was my time to go. And when you told me it was okay to go, which I did, I had a talk with her. I have a picture of the moment that I said, yes, you can go. Because she asked me, is it okay to go now? Because I'm so tired and I hurt all over. I said, "Darling, I love you so much. I don't want you to hurt any longer than you have to. If you really want to go back home, you can go back home." And she looked so happy. And I have a picture of her and I will post it. But I saw her in the window and she looked entirely different. But it was definitely her energy. And she said, "Mom, you did everything just right. Don't ever think that you didn't do enough. I know you always think that with all of us." She says, "You treat us all wonderful. You've been a wonderful mom to all of us, and we really appreciate you."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I said, "Oh, man, that's just the most beautiful thing. I'm so glad." And then I saw next to her, I saw another cat that appeared to be a male cat, and he was a cheetah. He looked like a cheetah. And I said, "Oh, you've got a friend." And he says, "Yes. Oh, so this is her," like that. And I said, "Oh, hi." And he says, "Well, hello." I said, "Well, Maui's back home now." He says, "Well, yes, this is our home." Yes. I said, "This is what you're the Lyran world now?" She says, "Yes, we're back on Lyra, on New Lyra. It's called something different now. But this is all mind speak. Once again, this is all mind speak." So she was saying, "Yes, I have this window open for a little while so that I can still talk to you and reassure you because we know how you are. You need some reassurance and you need some comfort to know that we're all okay over here." Because I had lost Kangi too, and he died and it really hit me hard. So yeah, it was wonderful. And so that window stayed open for a while so that I could talk to her and be reassured by her, and it really helped a lot. I have heard of this before where people have had their loved ones have had a window to heaven, so to speak, where they can talk to their loved ones in order to be comforted. Just happened mine are Lyrans. Why? Because my background is Lyran, probably.
Yeah. Probably so. That's probably they resonate with you the most. That's why they want to hang out with you, you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I suffer so much if I don't have a cat. for the while that I didn't have a cat, it was really hard. And the times that I haven't had a kitty cat, I've been really stuck, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's like having a child around or something.
And we're so quick when we lose them, we get so sad, and we're so quick, we feel sorry for them and everything. But it's mainly us that we're feeling sorry for, because those animals won't be in our lives anymore. They've gone to a better place and they're not suffering anymore. And you kind of got to think the opposite way. You kind of got to think, could this animal have gone to anybody else that would have spoiled them as much as you did? You made that, animal's life the best that it could be possibly be while it was on this planet. I've got Rufus right now. He tells me he used to be an Anubis in another lifetime, and he came in here for a dog experience. And I say, Rufus, dogs here don't eat chocolate chip cookies, so you're ruining your experience by wanting to get addicted to these chocolate chip cookies that you're making me feed you. And he just doesn't understand. He doesn't know that chocolate chips aren't meant for dogs. And you just kind of got to spoil your animals while they're here and give them experience and give them love, because they're not meant to last as long as we are.
An experience, yeah. They're here to be your companion, and they're here for an experience too.
Absolutely. They wanted to experience it. This could be my best friend somewhere where I'm from, and this could be my best friend, knowing that if he came to experience to be with a dog or as a dog, who the better to be your companion than me?
Too, right?
Absolutely.
Who would they want to be with? They'd want to be with their family and friends. So they come to you. Now, this guy was somebody else's cat for a while. But it's funny that the last two cats that I had, I met them before I owned them. You really don't own a cat, but I met them beforehand, and they were somebody else's cat first. Maui was that way, and so was this guy. He was with somebody else before he was with me. And I just wonder about it, because obvious both of them were not proper owners for a cat. We're not really treating them that well. And so basically, when he came to me, I changed his food. I, of course, took the mats out of his fur, and I just got him all comfy again. I know I'm doing the best I can do with this guy. Mm-hmm. And when he passes, he's going to have had the best I can do for him.
Absolutely.
But for Mao, I felt so sorry for Maui and Kanger, because they had to live with me through such harsh conditions and deadly conditions. Actually, I don't know how I didn't die with some of the stuff that I had to live with. I don't know how I managed to live through the stuff I lived through. If I told you the half of it, you probably wouldn't believe half. But I've had my life threatened many times. I've had many life-threatening things happen to me. And I never was like, you think this is going to happen to some important politician or some, incredibly smart person or incredibly something, famous person. No, this happens to regular people. Or, no, I don't know if I'm really a regular person. But there are many unsung heroes out there that have are victims of gang stalking and everything else, all kinds of other harassment.
And you got a number too, so you're not going to go until it's time for you to go. So
Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm told I have been quite some time now. I'm not going to die this time. Something else happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It may be ascension. It may be, but for some reason, I'm not scheduled to die. I've already had my opportunities to die if I wanted to. And, you actually do have a choice. at people have even spoken their own death into being. I saw a video just recently where a woman said back when she was 18, a silly 18-year-old, she kept saying, I want to die before I'm 40. And you know what? Right around 39, she started getting all of these sudden mysterious illnesses that were going to kill her. She had to actually renounce everything she had said. She had to remember that she'd done that and cursed herself, basically, and had to rescind all that in order to get herself healthy again. That's why I'm saying we really got to watch out what we say. And that's why I'm going to say I'm going to be healthier, wealthier, and wiser by the time I'm 65 than I was when I was 25. I'm going to be more beautiful. I'm going to have way, way more wealth. I'm going to, I have it already coming. I have all this already coming to me. I'm going to have a beautiful figure. I'm going to just in every way be better off than I am. Going to have more love in my life, more friends, more everything. All of this stuff is coming to me.
Well, like I was telling Ben last night, you got to do the things that you love to do. You're going to get the messages. You're going to get, your breadcrumbs you left for yourself to get back on the yellow brick road. You're going to find those breadcrumbs in music or in movies or in books or whatever brings you happiness. I know one lady that loves to garden, and she gets messages while she's got her hand in the dirt and she's gardening. It's whatever, everybody's different, whatever your hobbies that you like to do the most are your breadcrumbs to get back on your path. You got to do them as much as you can. I get mine in music, and I've also been told I'm going to be one of the last ones. I mean, in Celebrity Skin by Hole, it says it's only us left now. And that's one of my breadcrumbs that I've stuck in there. And we find these breadcrumbs, in the things that we enjoy to do, because all of a sudden our brain is clear when we're doing these things and our heart's open. And when we get these messages, they resonate. You hear truth, it resonates. You don't just hear truth, it resonates throughout your body. You can tell when somebody is telling you, the truth. You have this certain sense about you. And the more time you can do the things that you love to do, the hobbies that you like, the better off that you're going to be. And the more you're going to get your answers that you're looking for, like Ben was talking about last night. He doesn't know what he was here to do or what he was meant for. Well, he needs to get back out and fish as much as he can. If fishing was what his thing, do it, make time for it.
Whatever it is that makes you happy, make time for that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Right. James Ortiz has come in, and he says he's 61 years young. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be 65 in December. And nobody who sees me hardly believes me.
Yeah, just a number.
I'm going to be 65. But 65 is just a number, It's just another number to me. I'm going to look younger than I did when I was 20. I'm going to look better. I can do that. I know I can do that because I'm a creator.
Yeah. I'm in better shape right now at 53 than I was probably at 35 or 40.
Yeah. I actually look better than I did about 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I look better now than I did then. I look healthier, much healthier.
Growing old did not resonate with me. I had to grow younger. I decided, nope, this growing old and having everything hurt all the time ain't going to work.
Right. I've decided that I'm getting better. That's all there is to it. I'm going to be getting better. And it's funny because my helper that I have, because I'm fighting, and the thing that I'm fighting is fibromyalgia. It's one of the hardest ones because you think you're getting over it, and then it will jump.
And it's all in your joints, isn't it? Fibromyalgia.
No, it's in your muscles and joints
Oh,
and
is it?
everything.
Oh, okay.
It just basically can clench your muscles up and make them spasm and make them hurt all the time. And it's an autoimmune disease, so you end up with autoimmune symptoms all the freaking time. And every time you think you've gotten rid of it, you'll have a few nice days. You'll think you got rid of it, and it'll jump on you.
Do you
So
have those while you sleep a lot?
you have to sleep a lot. Yeah.
I said, do you have those like muscle cramps and Charlie horses while you sleep?
Sometimes they wake me up.
Yep. I've
They
had 4 this week.
Yeah, it's very common, and I think it is because we are so poisoned. I really think that all of the autoimmune diseases are because we've been poisoned. I think if we'd stop being poisoned, I'm pretty sure, because when I cut out refined sugar and refined flour, I cut out a lot of pain. Okay. And when I eat it again, I get in a lot of pain. I have a lot of pain. So I really think we are being poisoned, and we must. That's why we got to get ourselves back to the garden, folks. We need this eco village where we can eat real food, have a poison-free, safe, healthy atmosphere, because I'm trying to think of what his name is. Lipton. I believe it's Bruce Lipton. He's a cellular biologist, and he has a very metaphysical attitude toward life. And he said when he puts cells in a sick environment, they get sick. When he put them in a well environment, they get well. That's all there is to it. That's the difference between sickness and health. Is, you have a good, and that includes your mental environment. Okay, not just your physical environment, because we're very complicated creatures. So your mental environment is just as important, and your emotional environment, as your physical environment. So, all of these things are important. But if we had a place where we didn't have to so much fight all this, what could we accomplish? I think we could accomplish truly phenomenal things. And it would be very interesting to see what that would be. Because, like I said, there's a guy who had been talking about how they live like that. They had a place where everything just grew. They didn't hardly have to cultivate it at all. They ate as much as they want. They never got fat. They just got stronger. They never had disease. They didn't have weakness. They looked good. I mean, they all looked beautiful. Had beautiful bodies and everything. I think our environment is our problem, mentally and physically. And I think if we take ourselves out of that, we're going to find that we can transcend the human weaknesses that we've been, unfortunately, unceremoniously dished out. Okay? So, and I would love to have that experiment with you, with all of you. See if what we can do, what would that look like years from now? In 10 years, would we all look like we're teenagers or something, or 20? Would we all be 20 years old again? But with wisdom, because we're supposed to be living at least 200 years. What are you saying? What are you agreeing? You want to go too? Okay, you can go too. Sure. I'm going to take the kitty. Yep, I'm going to take you, baby. Coconut water. Somebody's talking about coconut water. Landlocked here, got a kiddie pool in the backyard. And I can pretend, yes, and it's important to pretend. Yeah, Brandy says fluoride, aluminum, and frequencies, and GMOs, and all that stuff, the Jabberwocky and all of that crap. They're just trying. You know what? I think they had to bring up the Jabberwocky thing because we were getting smart. We were getting too smart. A lot of us were wanting organic food. A lot of us were beginning to catch on to all the old tricks. So then they come up with this plan. Well, how are we going to poison them if they won't eat our poison food? And well, we got to come up with something to damp them down. That's what it was. It's like we were actually figuring it out. And we weren't having any of it anymore. That's why these places get raided, is because if we ever find out how powerful we are, all of the nasty stuff is banished forever. Which is why I say we must raise our frequencies above them. I can see it happening already. You can see that there is a bifurcation occurring, that we have an old world idea and a new world. The new world is different. It's going to be our world. And we're going to live a normal lifespan, which is not a mere 70, 80 years. Okay? We're going to be able to live a full human lifespan at least. Okay? When this all shakes out, we're all going to be far better off. We got to keep pushing for it. Okay, I'm going to plug in. If you guys want to keep going, I'm going to have to plug in to my power supply. Are you guys still wanting to talk a little more? Are you having fun?
I'll hop off here so somebody else can come on if they want to come on. So good to meet you, and I'll get my videos for you ready. I had to get a new computer, or I actually will have to get a new computer. My other computer had audio issues last weekend, and when I tried to fix the audio issues and just make them go back to factory audio, it erased a bunch of my files as well. So I lost a bunch of my UFO files, but I still got a bunch of them on my camera or on my telephone.
How is it that it always freaking erases? We get all of these stupid erasures.
Well, I told you it erased it too when the Russians evidently broke in my phone, or the other alphabet agencies or whatever took into my phone. They decided they wanted all of those as well. So it happens every so often. I try to back them up, but since these things are coming almost every night, I have a bunch of them on there, and sometimes I just can't fit them all on my computer. So I lost a few of them, but I've got my best ones saved.
I have several clouds, several.
Well,
and I would
that. Yeah, absolutely. I've got the best video I have of, I've got 2 UFOs that are sitting about 4.5 stories off the ground in the city I am in. At the time, it's like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm finding it hard to believe that nobody else can see these things that are just sitting there glowing.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, one of my friends said it was, her name's Cajun Queen, said she thinks it's a frequency thing. Maybe if a person's not above a certain frequency, they can't even tell that they're there.
That's very possible. As a matter of fact, there are times when I can see things and times when I can't. I got to get my head right, and then I can see it.
Well, okay, 2 of my neighbors were arguing while I was walking my dog about 1.5 years ago. It was probably about October last year, year before last. I can't remember which one. And there was a UFO 500 to 1,000 feet right above him. And while they were arguing, I said, "Hey, dude." And he looked over to me. I said, "Can you see that right there?" And he goes, "No, what is it?" I said, "Come here, come here." And he started walking over there. And I was showing him where the UFO, and he couldn't see him. So after about the fourth or fifth time of me saying, "You can't see that UFO sitting right there," and him saying no and looking at me like I'm crazy, I just said, "Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know there's one sitting right there," because I'm sure he thought I was nuts, but he couldn't see it. And maybe it was because he was mad at his girlfriend or something and they were arguing.
Wow, yeah, that can be. Brandy is talking about people who took the Jabberwocky being listed as patented wetware. Quite possibly. This is what I was saying, is that if you get your RNA rewritten, whoever owns the patent to that owns you. Yeah.
That could very well be true.
The idea here is they want to own all life on the planet. I'm not going to let them do that. And she said she had an iridescent orb come down to me. You can see
that's also where they could be trying to get the zombie apocalypse that they were trying to manifest into creation, you know, by poisoning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I have that channel too. I subscribed to NBB 333. Yeah. I have him too. Matter of fact, I may send in some of my sky pictures to him. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I have so many sky pictures. There's been so much in our sky. But you know what? This year I haven't seen anything. It's so weird. Is it me? Or is it that they've got better technology for hiding? Or, you know, are they just not around in this area as much anymore? But at one time, any time I would go out there, there would be stuff out there. However, I gotta say, I can get rid of chemtrails. I can actually get rid of the sky streaks by just singing to them and inviting my friends to help me get rid of them. And then actually they can't even make sky streaks above my head. Just like, was it Denali talking about it? We have the ability to protect our areas. None of us ever have to suffer from storms or floods or famines of any kind. We are perfectly capable of manipulating our environment in a peaceful way that is beneficial for all, to where we never have to suffer these problems. And if you look at classical sculpture, you know, these people are all running around naked with nothing but maybe a little cloak on or something. They're flying, they're levitating, they're doing all kinds of things that supposedly the gods do. Well, guess what? We can do all that. They didn't want for anything. The gods, the quote unquote gods, didn't want for anything. They had their whole environment optimized for them. If we could do the same thing, we don't have to have all this pain and anguish. That's the experiment I want to run. Is the experiment where how good can we make it? How amazing can we make it? You know? I mean, start dreaming. How good can we actually make life be in this matrix? It's a matrix. We can change it. We can rewrite it. We can do what we want with it. How good can we make it? Let's find
I
out.
stuck one of my videos in the kind of, I guess, the backstage area. Do you have to click on it and see if that'll work? I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get these videos to you.
I don't know either, except maybe through MeWe.
Okay. I signed up for MeWe today, but I haven't. Yeah.
I gave you my email.
Gotcha.
So you know my email.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of
All right.
now. But yeah, I've been looking. I looked on Facebook and I couldn't find you. By the way, right now on Facebook, Diana Singer, I'm blue-green. I have a picture of me there, blue-green. Okay. Kind of look like Avatar or something, but that shade. Okay, we are made for this shift. That's right. Power up, Power Rangers. Ground to Gaia. She's there for you. Connect. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Strangeland. Apparently, I say a lot of great words. I had somebody, in one of the in one of the comments of one of the videos, I said, "Stay strong and remember you're divine." They wouldn't be trying so hard if they weren't losing so bad. You know, and people were something along those lines, and people were saying that needs to be on a poster. You know, you need to remember the only reason they're trying so hard is because they're losing so bad, and we are winning so well. We are waking up so fast and moving fast. We need to move fast though, because really there's a lot of stuff going on here. We need to get ourselves, at least people who are on these programs, need to get ourselves ready for all of the shifting that's going on, because it's going to be monumental. It really will be. But by next year, this is going to be a different world. I promise you. Next year at this time, it's going to be a whole different place. You're going to see it. It's going to look entirely different. All kinds of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's all going to be cut and dried and resolved and everything's going to be resolved. I'm going to tell you it's going to be a different place. So it's worth working towards. You say great words since I meet you like 2 years ago. Well, thank you, Strangeland. I'm so honored that I could be a spokesperson. I'm very honored, and I'm so glad that I started this channel, that I had different ideas what it was going to be like. But if I'm saying words that you are backing, if I can speak for you, words that you need to hear, if I can see, that's it. We're all like that. We all want to help. You know, somebody comes in here with a problem, all of you jump right on them and say, "Can I help you?" You are definitely service, what they call service to others. And the thing is, we've got to serve ourselves too. We got to find some balance between that. But you are definitely all service to others types, all up and down. I see it all the time here. You all want to help. You just all want to make things better. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to be one of you. I'm so proud to be able to offer you this platform. Does anybody else want to come in and talk?
Don't be so hard on yourself. You found your way back to the yellow brick road. Now let it just come to you. Do things that you love to do and bring you happiness and joy. Because if you remember, every time Dorothy got off that yellow brick road, it was for a distraction. So, you know, you got to put those distractions, beat them, get whatever you need to get, learn your lesson, and get back on your road and do the things that you like to do. Because it's going to lead you right to where you need to go.
Tell you the truth, I have been very sick. Like I said, I had black mold poisoning. It made me very sick. It was extremely painful. But I knew at the same time that there was something I was getting rid of. And really, that whole experience of living there among all that black mold, thick could have killed me. I mean, a lot of people died there. There's a lady that was living there that she's gone. She ended up on oxygen and then she ended up passing. It could have killed me, but it didn't. You know, when I realize I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of pain. We're going to be dumping pain. We're going to be dumping karma. We're going to be dumping a lot of poisons and toxins, both mental and physical. And it's not going to feel good sometimes, but in order to change totally and realize that we're changing, we're told that we're changing into more of a silicon base than a carbon base now. What is that going to feel like? You're going to be sick sometimes. You're going to feel sick. You're not going to feel good as you're shifting over. And you're going to want to stay still because you know what, my guides, several of us have figured this out. You will be allowed to get sick to keep you immobile so they can work on you. If you don't take the time out to stay still and let them work on you, they'll let you get sick. And then you'll have to stay still and let them work on you. So when it happens that you got some free time, that if you're feeling tired, let yourself rest. Let yourself be immobile and let them work on you. Because it's only going to benefit you in the long run. And if you get sick, realize that you're just working out the poisons that and the things that have been assaulting you all this time. It may not feel so good for a while. As a matter of fact, I'm up all night a few nights. It was horrible pain, but I feel much better now. And most people who go through this say that too. They'll go through about 5 days where they won't eat. Don't be surprised if this happens. I'm going to describe this to you. You get some kind of sickness. You'll feel horrible. You won't be able to eat for about 5 days. Or you'll only be able to do liquids or something like that by about 5 days. After you come out on the other side of it, you'll feel great. I'm not kidding. This has happened to more than one person I know now. This has happened to several people I know. Whether they're like, wow, that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Now I just feel great. I feel much better than I did before. So I've had this mind-rending, painful experience twice now. Let me tell you, I am doing way better. My swelling is way down. I still have a little bit of a cough from it. That is still me getting rid of some stuff, I'm sure. But, you know, swelling that I've had in my legs for 20 years is going down. There are injuries that I've had for longer than that, for decades. They're slowly dissipating. So it can happen. Are you still doing remote viewing? Yes, I am. Yeah, I still do that. In fact, if anybody wants to do remote viewing here on the show, let me know. I'll set it up. Also, I would direct you to Max Vision channel because he does remote viewing every weekend, and it keeps me tuned up, so to speak. But yeah, I do still do remote viewing, and if you guys want to take a remote viewing trip, let me know. But I kind of want to do it without front loading you, so that we can get some accurate views. But I'll think of some places that we could view, or things that we could view, and I would be happy to host that. Yeah, forced fasting. That's basically what it is. You feel really great after a 24-hour fast. I just did one. Yeah, I just did a 24-hour fast. So, yeah, and I'm going to do more because I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff that's accumulated. And get all the rust off. And in order to be able to move around again, be able to go off trail again, be able to go through the woods again, be able to travel. That's my goal. Is to be able to do the things I used to be able to do without pain and disability. So I'm working on it. Yeah, that's true. We can do it some night of the week. That would be great. Good, because Marilena wants to do it. Marilena wants to get back to the remote viewing. How about you, David Castle?
I've visited Max's channel when they were remote view, but yeah, I like it. He's very, very talented. I'm usually very, very distracted because I'm taking care of a couple of my family members that are sick right now. So it's hard for me to sit down until they actually get secure for the night. So as soon as they get secure for the night, I'm all there. But before that time, if he does it during the day or in the early evening, it's hard for me to get into it.
Yeah, I know how that is. Okay.
Yeah, because you got to have total focus. If you got total focus, you know, if you don't have anything distracting you, you can be really, really good at it. And I recommend it because some people never try things. And when they finally do try something, they find out that, yeah.
I got to announce something I forgot. This Wednesday, we have a guest. We won't be doing it probably this Wednesday. However, I will set another day for doing it. This Wednesday, we will be having Paul Christian on, my friend who is a homeopath. He's going to be explaining homeopathy because homeopathy is how I got over some of the stuff that was plaguing me this time. He found the right homeopathic remedies and it really helped me immediately. So I want you guys to at least understand the concept of homeopathy and what it is and put you in touch with Paul in case you have some kind of a need. He might be able to help you, and his rates are extremely reasonable. This is not medical advice, however. He has worked with a medical doctor and a licensed medical doctor. He worked with it and had, and the fellow, Dr. Garn, offered a alternative medicine in the form of homeopathy and was really very successful with it. So Wednesday is going to be an interview for at least an hour. And then, but Paul is really a talker, so he may talk a lot, but there'll be questions. There'll be a lot of time for questions and whatever we want to do after that. So don't miss Wednesday. But I will make a day for us to do remote viewing. Absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you, David.
Oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. I'm just saying Max is really, really good, and he's got the voice, and he can really teach you, you know, how to do it. If you like to start with Max, and he's really good.
Max is actually a really good place to start.
Yeah.
He's very, very patient with people, way more patient even than me sometimes. And I try to be very patient. But he's extremely patient and extremely loving person and easy, very easygoing. So he's a great place to start. Okay, and I will list it in MeWe. I will mention it in MeWe. I'll advertise it. Okay, now you have a wonderful night, Strangeland. Nice to see you again. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. As a project. Yeah, you know what? You ought to be able, once you get busy learning to remote view Strangeland, you're going to find out all the strange things around you. You'll be able to go out and just see it. That's how I work. I mean, when I do my remote viewing and remote affecting, when I go to solve these problems and do these removals and stuff, I never realized it. I'm doing that. I'm actually not just remote viewing, I'm going there. There's a part of me that goes to that area and handles that issue. When I went and handled that shadow being, I was there. There's a part of me that was there. I didn't realize for the longest time I was doing that until I did a clearing out of somebody's place, and I'm there like, holy cow, she saw me. She saw me and she screamed. She saw me suddenly appear at her place. And she screamed, and I was trying to figure out what she was screaming about. She kept screaming, "You can't be here. You can't be doing this. You can't." I thought she was talking about whatever was there. No, she was talking to me. She was like, how is it that you're doing this? How can you do this? I don't understand. I was standing beside her taking care of this. Plus, I was talking to her on the phone from my home. That's when I realized, holy cow, I'm there when I do this. When I go take care of this stuff, I'm really actually there. I don't know why it never occurred to me before that I was there. Of course, I had to be. That's how I was respecting it. You can do that too. What if we all get to do that, huh? What could we do? That's what I said. We threw a monkey wrench into CERN. Yeah, over in John's class. Yep, and that's exactly how we do it. We can do that with anything. And there aren't very many things that can stop us. Once you get strong enough, you can do almost anything. Imagine possibilities. Okay. What else you got for us, David? Let's see.
That's about it. Like I said, I'll get my files for my UFOs and stuff ready, and yeah, I'll come back on sometime when we can get them all loaded and figure out how to get them to be able to show.
I'm trying to figure that out right now. The only way I can think of is put them in movie. I wish I had a new computer. I'm intending that I get a new setup, a computer and stuff. I'm intending that happen. It hasn't quite happened yet.
Well, I can give you the Cliff Notes of it all. Cliff Notes is just usually you're seeing a round light that's going around so fast that sometimes it looks like a Merkaba. Sometimes you'll see little areas of the light like poking up and poking out, and it's rotating so fast that it looks like a top that is getting ready to fall down. It's kind of got that the uneven kind of wobble to it. And sometimes they're closer, and sometimes I got really, really good pictures, and sometimes they're further away. But some of those further away pictures are pretty good too in the videos because you can see orbs coming out of them. And so, yeah, it's just odd and strange.
I want to see them. I really want to see them. Like I said, I can only get them, but they didn't come through. Your message did not come through on Facebook. I'm sorry.
And I don't know if you all saw the Rex Bear. I think he had some kind of commercial or something about somebody had no, it might have been Mr. MBB 333 today. He had like a light ball that people had blown up, and you could see the actual energy going along inside the ball. And I have a bunch of those videos that person has been seeing and taping off like the same camera phone I do, because that's exactly what I got. Because when you kind of focus in on them, sometimes they won't focus in on, and it's really odd because it goes in, out of focus. And then all of a sudden on your screen, you'll see this big, huge, transparent ball. And that's what you're focusing on. And for some reason, your camera has totally just picked up this and made it extremely large on your phone. And you're like, wow, that's like very impressive. And you can see everything that's going on inside the kind of the energy field, because that's all it is. It's a cloaking device and an energy field. These things use them when they're really, really close to Earth because they don't want you to see what they are or what kind of vehicle they are. It's just their cloaking device.
I believe you.
Yeah, I've seen them up 2 to 3 blocks away from me. I've been that close to one of them, and I could only see the same thing I'm seeing now, probably being these things are anywhere from 15 to 25 blocks away from me. They've been as close as like 3 or 4 blocks away from me. But I'm just saying, you ain't going to see them if they don't want you to see them. They're going to have this energy field on, and unless you got some kind of maybe, they said some of those
some of them use a
classes,
plasma
those,
field.
yeah,
Some of them use plasma, and they build a cloud around them that you can't see through.
right. And what's the best
I've
way to
got
keep a human from
pictures
seeing
of it.
anything? Flashing light in its eyes, and that's all you're looking at when you're looking at these is a light.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, that's why the sky streaks too, is because they spread out and make it all silvery and too bright up there. If you want to see what I took a picture of, there's things that I never saw in the sky. I just thought I was taking a picture of the sky. I darken it up a little bit. I turn the brightness down. Boom, something's sitting there.
Yep.
And it's like, what, you can't see it because the sky is too bright and silvery.
And sometimes those streaks are them taking off, because I've seen one of them leave before. And if you see one of them leave, that's when you're really lucky, because they get really extremely bright. And you think they're bright enough already, but all of a sudden you'll see them like get really, really light. And then all of a sudden they're gone. And only thing that you can see from where they were at are the tracers of the light that was a part of them going in a direction that they took off in, because they're going so fast you can't see them anymore. You can just see the light.
Mm-hmm. We're going on 3 hours now, and 3 is my limit. So we're just about on 3 hours, and I want to thank you all for coming so much, for coming to see us here and being with us. And really, please consider us your family, and because we really are, in a very real way, we are. And you're, like I said, please let me know if you would like to be a guest. Let me know if you have something you want to put on my show. I would love to have more guests on my show. And I think it's just awesome that we have such an awesome family. I would love to have you on. So please send some people my way, and I will certainly, as a matter of fact, I need somebody who does book. You know what? I keep looking at SOR, at Dave. He's so good at this, but he also has a bunch of people helping him. And one of the people helping him is somebody who does booking. So if you think you might be good at that, I would love to talk to you about that. Okay? So please get in touch with me. Hey, Bomber. Good to see you. Okay. Love you guys. Remember, truth is where you find it. You are divine. Hope you're finding some of the truth on my show. I certainly do try to offer it every time I can. Okay. Just don't forget you're divine. Don't forget that you are creating the world. So dream well. Okay. I love you guys. Good night. See you Wednesday.